Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury, the rematch, the World Heavyweight Championship. And Christmas comes early for boxing fans in Saudi Arabia on Saturday, the 21st of December. Welcome to Odds Now, and this is the big betting preview of the big fight with myself, Adam Smith, and Brad Walker. Right, welcome, Brad. First question, what happened in the first fight?
Yeah, it was an entertaining watch, wasn't it? I don't think it was a classic in the sense across the 12 rounds, but there were certainly big moments in the fight. I think Oleksandr Usyk, first half of the fight, I wouldn't say he struggled, but I certainly think Tyson Fury was up. He hurt Usyk, I think, in that 6th round with an uppercut. But the tide soon changed then. Usyk putting his foot on the gas, and hurting Fury in the 9th. I think he had won a couple of rounds before that. He badly rocked Tyson Fury, of course, landing a knockdown eventually. We've all seen the clip of Fury stumbling all the way around the ring. I think, I was wondering at the time how he managed to stay on his feet in that moment, but he did come back strong, to be fair to him, showing his conditioning there in the round after. I think there's a lot of talk about Fury's behaviour in the first half of that fight. Was he messing around? Was he taking it seriously enough? There's a lot of goading. I wouldn't really buy into that myself. I think that's a lot of what Fury was doing as part of his own game plan, almost to try and bring Usyk onto him to land that big uppercut, which of course he had success with. And we know what the character of Fury is like. He's always going to be one for the eccentrics, isn't he? He was 40 pounds heavier than Usyk last time heading into that fight. There's a lot of talk about what conditioning he'll be in on the scales this time around. I personally think he'll probably be around the same mark. But yeah, it's certainly an intriguing watch given everything that happened back in that first fight.
Did you think that it was the right decision then? I know that it was a split decision in the end, wasn't it? But yeah, so Usyk, you thought was the deserved winner for you?
I think he was a firm winner. It was a close fight, some close rounds in there, but I think he was a firm winner in a close fight. Yeah. Ultimately.
And similar to what you said, really, Usyk was badly in the 6th round, but there's no surprise there. You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, is he vulnerable to the body? But when someone who's 40 pounds heavier than you is hitting you anywhere, it probably is going to hurt eventually when one of them lands. In that 9th round, Fury all but stopped, really. Could have been stopped. You know, you'd have seen the fights of lesser magnitude, if you like, stopped for that. Definitely stumbling all over the ring. Didn't actually go down in the end, did he? The ropes kept him up type thing. Yeah, messing around in the first half of the fight. But as you say, it is part of his makeup. We've seen him do it against Vladimir Klitschko and others in and out the ring. Is it part of his makeup? I think there's a fine line on Fury with his chaotic life. Maybe we'll come to that afterwards. But so yeah, deserved winner Usyk, and he's going into the second fight as odds-on favourite. So for this fight, Usyk is 4-7 to get the victory. Fury is 6-4. Now, before the first bell of the first fight, which was earlier this year, Usyk was 4-5 and Tyson Fury evens. So on the day of the fight markets, not much has changed. But the key here is Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury. Before the Francis Ngannou fight, we were taking bets on the Usyk fight, and it was 1-2 Fury and 7-4 Usyk. That was all changed after that pretty poor and disappointing performance in the Ngannou fight, and that's when Usyk went favourite after what Fury showed in the Ngannou fight. So plenty to take in. From a British fight fan point of view, what does Tyson Fury need to do better to win the rematch? Is it obvious, or is it much the same again? Just more concentration in the first half of the fight? How would you sell it?
Probably a mix of everything you just said there, really. I think if you were to put the two next to each other, the difference in size is obvious for everyone to see. But I do hate it when you're talking about Oleksandr Usyk, people say you just got to get in there and rough him up. It's like, well, you go in there and do it then. There have been many who have tried that. Anthony Joshua, we saw the advantage in size that he had over Usyk. I don't think he necessarily used that to his advantage as best he could have, particularly in that first fight. But he's so slippery, Usyk. He's so clever with his footwork. He's not stupid. He's been around the block. You look at his amateur pedigree for starters before he even gets into the pros. And then you look at what he's done as a professional at cruiserweight. First of all, he's beaten everyone. It's not just the fact who he's beat, it's where he's beaten them as well. Most of the time it's in their own backyard. He's not fazed by that. We've known, it's been well documented, the situation in Ukraine over the last couple of years. I think particularly in that Anthony Joshua rematch, I think he was feeling that on his back. You could see his reaction after the fight was quite emotional. In terms of what Fury needs to do to win, he did have spells in that fight. Like I said, in that first half of that fight, he was up. I had him 4-2 up. I think many agree with that. I think it's easy to almost have a short memory and just remember the result, but he did have success, and I don't think many people had done to Usyk what Fury did do to him in those first six rounds. Trouble is with Oleksandr Usyk, he's whether it's because of his amateur pedigree, he knows when he needs a big round, And I think after that stick, when he was rocked, it almost clicked in his head to say, right, I need to really turn the tide here now. He did that against Anthony Joshua a couple of times, and he really stepped his foot on the pedal. He won the 7th and the 8th in that first fight with Fury, and obviously we spoke about what happened in the 9th, and he closed the show strong as well. There is an element of using his size, Fury. You look at, like I said, look at the size of his frame. I think the way of winning this fight is on the outside if you can keep Usyk there. But again, good luck trying to do that because he's used to fighting fighters bigger than him now. Look at the success he's had at heavyweight, beating Daniel Dubois. The controversy, I don't think it was controversial. It was a low blow by the rules, in my opinion, anyway. And that win's now aging like fine wine. The 2 wins over Anthony Joshua, like I said as well. There's a win against Chisora in there, and obviously the Fury fight. So he's used to fighting these bigger fighters, and it's easier said than done with Fury. Yeah, use your size, use your frame, and his technical ability. He's a brilliant fighter technically, Fury. But putting that all together to beat Oleksandr Usyk is a tough ask for anyone.
Easier said than done, I think, is the key, as you say. Yeah. And I think we underestimate Usyk, because obviously I know he speaks English, but he's not American or English based. He's got that character about it. Plenty of people love him, but how good has he been? Cleared up, absolutely cleared out the cruiserweight division in fantastic fashion on away soil, as you say. He's come up to heavyweight. He's got those size disadvantages. He's basically clearing up at heavyweight as well. Joshua Fury. There aren't many other names after that that he needs to beat. He's got this rematch here where he's odds on to do the same again. Just on Fury, I think that at some stage, and it's already, you could argue, has already caught up with him once in his life. At some stage, his chaotic lifestyle and all that goes with it, training, not listening to anyone in the corner, massive breaks away from the ring, weight gain, etc., etc. It's got to catch up with him to eventually. Money in the Bank is one of them. Remember, they both came into this first fight undefeated. I know he had that controversial draw with Wilder, etc. But yeah, he has been fantastic at times, Fury, don't get me wrong. I thought against Wilder, the second fight, was one of the best performances by a British boxer on away soil that I've ever seen. It was fantastic, particularly after what happened in the first, where he had to rise from the dead like The Undertaker in the final round. Brilliant. But it's just going to have to catch up with him eventually, I think, whereas Usyk, as you say, there is a lot going on in his wider personal life in the Ukraine, but I think that he's just more focused, if you like. Less chaos in the corner, less chaos at home, etc. But yeah, plenty to look forward to, absolutely, as always. I think that Usyk, it just needs to be same again from him, to be honest. Like you say, it's a lot easier said than done. That's the key here. Footwork, work rate, southpaw. He's clearly got enough power to hurt Fury. He did everything but stop him in that fight. He hurt Joshua before that. He's not going to be the one-punch knockout artist like others because he's not naturally a heavyweight. I think the weights will be similar, as we said before. I think it was 39 pounds heavier Fury was last time, but that was pretty much in line what he's been weighing recently. Usyk's weighed pretty much the same throughout his heavyweight career, 225-ish. I think that'll be the same again. I don't see much change there. So that leads us on to Brad's best bets. So where would your money be going for the Usyk Fury main event?
It is a tough one to call, and I'm not saying this with loads of confidence, but I am going to back a repeat and Usyk to win. I think that comes in at 8-11 at the time of recording, and to win by decision or technical decision comes in at just over 3-2. Like you say, Oleksandr Usyk, you can look at it from a technical standpoint, but when I look at him, I just can't. It sounds daft, but I just can't imagine him losing. Like, he always seems to find a way to win. Like, he has come through adversity throughout his career. Maris Bradis, that fight was incredibly close, I think, down at cruiserweight. And then you look at the AJ, the first fight he won comfortably. The second fight, I think he won comfortably too, but he did look like he was rocked by a body shot. I think it was around the 9th round. But then you look at him in the 10th round, he recognised that in his own corner. He comes out and he has one of his best rounds of the fight. And that must be so demoralising for an opponent to, have what is your best moment in the fight, only to have it snatched away from you for him to go again. It must kill you psychologically. And like we mentioned, he was hurt as well in the first Fury fight too. I just can't look past him. I think it's so hard to back against him. Like I said, based on everything he's done throughout his career, I agree with you, Fury. The way he's, that well-documented break he had away from the sport, his troubles with alcohol and drugs, ballooning up in weight, that does catch up with you. And you mentioned the corner as well. That needs to be fixed for this fight as well. You can't have 3 or 4 voices in the corner shouting at you, particularly in a fight like that. That's one thing I noticed when I was watching it the first time around. It's just chaos, and really, especially after that 9th round where he was badly hurt, Fury. He was out on his feet, like you say. You need that calm, collected voice just to guide you through those moments. Don't get me wrong. I think he does have really good ring IQ, doesn't he, Fury? He is able to guide himself through a fight. He doesn't need someone to hold his hand through it. But still, when you're going through a moment like that, you do want that calm voice in the corner. So that's something that I think he needs to work on. But yeah, in terms of a bet, I'm going to go with Usyk again.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. That's all previewing the big fight in Saudi just before Christmas. So plenty to look forward to there. Thanks for watching. Making sure you're subscribing to Odds Now and our sister channel as well, Boxing Now, who bring you all the best interviews from all the big names in boxing. Thank you.